cares? Who cares? Who cares?
That was the Prime Minister of Canada. Not my Prime Minister, but Canada's Prime Minister. And that is his answer to your struggles. The who cares moment. By the time I get to number 1 on my list, you're going to understand why the who cares moment will forever define Mark Carney's time as Prime Minister. Welcome back to the show. Happy New Year's Eve, everybody. I have to say, I really missed you guys. I bought a whole bunch of new equipment for Christmas, and I spent the last 5 days setting everything up, and now my setup is so epic, getting ready for the 2026 epic year that's coming. Today, we're gonna count down Mark Carney's top 10 moments that prove that Mark Carney isn't working for you. He's working for his portfolio, and you are not part of it. Let's get into this report. Number 10, the identity crisis. Who remembers this gem?
This is a special day, and the message of Eid resonates in this room, across the city, and I may say it should resonate with all Canadians. The values of community, of generosity, and yes, of sacrifice. And yes, of sacrifice. These are Muslim values. These are Canadian values.
Oh boy, I don't know how I'm gonna top that one. That one was actually absurd. Do you feel like your values are Muslim values? Just the question. That was an identity crisis. Let's move on to number 9, the silent crash. We were warned about Mark Carney. Number 9, the silent crash. Who remembers this?
Just wanting to get your thoughts on Mark Carney and your relationship with him while you were Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, and any advice you have to Canadians who think he might make a good Prime Minister.
Well, Mark Carney was Governor of the Bank of England, and under his tenure, too much money was printed, which did damage to the British economy and put our economy off track. He, at the last election, endorsed Rachel Reeves' economic policy. She's now become Chancellor. It's been a disaster for Britain. The country is heading for bankruptcy. So I would strongly recommend not backing Mark Carney or his policies on net zero, which have been disastrous for Britain and would be disastrous for Canada.
Do you trust his judgment overall, outside of ideological considerations?
Well, I believe that he made major mistakes in the management of the Bank of England. He has pushed net zero, which has been a disaster, not just for the UK, but for many countries across the world.
Thanks for your time, Prime Minister. I appreciate it.
Now that we've seen the warning about Mark Carney, how is it going after 9 months of this guy? Oh, and by the way, if sea change was such an existential threat, whatever happened to the 2 billion trees?
First off, there's the moral imperative of the moral obligation, responsibility for future generations of addressing the issue, but there's also the commercial reality. Climate has become less of an issue politically if you look at polling, but it is continuing, the climate change is continuing remorselessly, and what is happening is that the importance of being lower carbon, whether it's in energy, automobiles, aerospace, services, whatever industry, will only become more important. You just have to look at where China and others are going. We have an opportunity, we have an enormous opportunity in this country to leapfrog the United States. The United States has taken its eye off the ball on this. I mean, they've really downgraded it. We have an opportunity to leapfrog the United States.
Our economy is stronger than the American economy.
On top of that overall responsibility, we can create jobs, we can make life more affordable, we can build our economy, and we are going to take those opportunities as they come.
Don't you just wish that something that Mark Carney, just one thing that Mark Carney says could actually come true. That we're about to see the biggest boom in our economy we've ever seen. But since he's become prime minister, everything is worse. I'm sure that Mark Carney's gonna call this economy a transitional period. I call it a managed decline of your wallet. He's an economist who forgot about the economy. Number 8, the jet setter. Mark Carney had to take Uber Air to get to Egypt because there was no military flight staff on duty. This is how embarrassing Canada is on the world stage. And how much did this cost us to get an Uber flight? I guarantee you, it cost taxpayers over $200,000 for this flight. Well, we found out how much that Uber Air flight cost Canadians. $736,000 for the Uber Air flight. How embarrassing is that? We have to fly around the world with Uber Air. And you know the trip that he went to Egypt? He just went there and stood in the background. And the only thing that happened during this trip is Donald Trump called him president by accident. And it went straight to his head. Other than that, he did absolutely nothing.
These are driving up grocery prices for the year to come. And what did he do as punishment for himself? Gave himself an $800,000 privately chartered flight to Egypt, where there were meetings happening in which he had absolutely no role other than a photo op. Why is it that Canadians need to line up at food banks so that he can go jetting around the world for photo ops?
Flying in Uber Air for nearly $1 million to the other side of the planet is bad optics. It looks terrible when we have so many people visiting the food bank on a monthly and daily basis. But what I have for number 4 on the list is not just another plane ride. It's Mark Carney literally betting against the Canadian economy. But first, let's take a look at how much Mark Carney has flown around the planet this year alone. Here is an excellent visual representation of Mark Carney's air travel since becoming prime minister, courtesy of the real Mr. Bench on X. You are not going to believe how much he has flown. Over 250,000 kilometers since becoming prime minister. Just 2 days ago, he flew to Nanaimo from Ottawa, spent 24 hours there, and has flown back. We have no idea why he went to Nanaimo. Somebody said it's to visit his mother or family, but maybe he just went to get a cappuccino by the Pacific Ocean and has flown back to Ottawa. I'm not going to play this entire video. If you want to check out his flight track, I'll leave a link in my description. But while Mark Carney travels the world by air, he has only spent under 25 days in the House of Commons. And if you consider all of the days that he just walked out after being embarrassed, he probably only spent about 15 days in the House of Commons. He has spent so many days in the air. Imagine all of those carbon levies that he's charging you, but him, oh no, he doesn't have to pay any of it. All of these flights are courtesy of the taxpayer. Number 7, gaslighting Canadians. Here's Mark Carney's 2025 was a year of, so his year-end video. Cutting taxes, building affordable homes, diversifying trade partners, fast-tracking major projects, making our streets safer, supporting Canadian workers, investing in the Canadian Army, and attracting massive investments for Canadians, empowering Canadians, and building Canada strong. I fixed Mark Carney's record. And at number 6, the Carney fails. We'll start with Mark Carney trying to flip a pancake at the Calgary Stampede.
You can flip that one.
I know. Oh, there you go. That's not it. That's not. I was better in Ottawa.
The second is even worse.
I got a little cocky there. But I was here.
I'll just clean it up for you.
No, I'll take responsibility. Okay.
I can have that one.
These are mine. I'm not making anyone eat these.
He's never cooked a day of his life, it's apparent. Or Mark Carney's famous elbows up dance. Who remembers this? Oh man, this is so embarrassing. Or when Mark Carney couldn't even cut a basic ribbon. I hope that was just a dull scissor. Or was it when he met Donald Trump for his birthday and his elbows just went missing? Or was it the time at the steel factory where Mark Carney was conducting the steel guy telling him how to do his own job? Now that is a Carney fail. Or was it the G7 in which Mark Carney did some bizarre dance or something on the podium which looked exactly like the guy that's trying to direct the planes? I'm sure there's many, many more, but we gotta move on to number 5. Number 5, the conflict of interest, Carney. And you know what I always say, you can't make any of this stuff up.
Revelations at the Ethics Committee have exposed the Prime Minister's company, Brookfield, as one of Canada's largest tax dodgers. Leading tax transparency experts show that Brookfield avoided an incredible $6.5 billion in Canadian taxes through the use of offshore tax havens over just 5 years. Now, while chair of Brookfield, the Prime Minister set up 3 multi-billion-dollar investment funds in Bermuda and the Cayman Islands, shielding profits from Canadian taxes. And these are funds that could line the Prime Minister's pockets through future bonus payments. Canadians deserve to know that the Prime Minister is making decisions in the public interest, not his own financial interest. That's why it was shocking that Liberals voted to try to shut down this investigation to improve transparency for Canadians. While Liberals vote to protect powerful politicians, Conservatives will stand up for hardworking Canadian taxpayers. We will not back down. We will defend hardworking Canadian taxpayers, and we're going to hold this Liberal Prime Minister accountable.
Unbelievable. Then we have Mark Carney explain he doesn't own anything. He has nothing but cash and a little bit of real estate, but that's it. There's nothing else in his portfolio.
I own nothing now. I came into public life at a time of crisis. I put my hand up because of the crisis, because of what's represented by that bridge, what's represented by the threats to these good men and women of Unifor and their colleagues across southwestern Ontario and across Canada. I came in. What I've done is put all my affairs in order, well in advance. I own nothing but cash and personal real estate. So, and that's not going to change in public life. That's not going to change. It's actually quite straightforward.
So then, just to be clear, then going forward, you have no potential equity stake, no potential stock options, or any other potential future payments that you currently anticipate could come from either Strike or Brookfield.
So what I have is cash, personal real estate, and they're assets all those assets were divested into a blind trust, which is managed by a trustee, and it literally means exactly what it says. I don't know what's in it.
He doesn't know what's in it? Let's take a look at that. Mark Carney claimed he owned absolutely nothing but cash and personal real estate, but that's it. But the fact is, Mark Carney disclosed proves he knowingly owns 574 stocks and deferred profits and stock options in Brookfield and other companies. Oh yeah, so everything is a lie. Yeah, he just said he owns cash. That's it. Well, it looks like he owns a lot more, but it gets worse. Where's all his companies located? And thanks to the amazing work of Moose on the Loose, he disclosed that Mark Carney only owns three companies out of all of his other companies, and 93% of his companies are located in the United States. So if the United States is doing great, so is Mark Carney. But if Canada declines and just ceases to exist, it really doesn't matter to Mark Carney because he has zero skin in the game. Number 4, Mark Carney is the Trump whisperer. Remember when I said that Mark Carney's betting against the Canadian economy? It could have been number 5 or it's number 4. They're interconnected. But Mark Carney, with his 93% of his assets located in the United States, oh yeah, he ran as the Trump whisperer. He's the only man that could negotiate a win with Donald Trump. Well, we're 9 months in and all he's done is failed. But there's a reason why he wants to fail. Because if we go down, Mark Carney's assets go up. First, did you know that Canada is the only other country that is dumb enough to retaliate? China and Canada retaliated. And you know what happened? That just angered Donald Trump. So he decided to Hulk smash both of us. But Canada, we can't hit back. China, they can. So they still have tariffs, but Canada, yeah, we're not doing so hot. Oh, and until Jasmine Lane had the US ambassador on her show, which exposed that Mark Carney and the Liberals were taxing imported food from the United States. Yeah, they were actually putting a tariff on food imports, which exploded the cost of food across Canada. Once that was exposed, they quietly removed all of the tariffs. Thank you, Jasmine Lane, for saving us money at the grocery store. How are we doing? Since Mark Carney has become Prime Minister of Canada, all of our tariff rates are up. None of them are down. US has tripled their softwood lumber tariffs to 45%, raised reciprocal tariffs from 25 to 35%, doubled steel and aluminum tariffs to 50%, put 25 tariffs on auto, 50% on copper, and 25% on heavy duty trucks. China has a 100% tariff on canola and 100% tariff on peas and 25% tariff on pork and seafood, and 75.8% tariff on canola seed. Oh yeah, let's not forget about India, 30% tariff on yellow peas. And just so everybody is aware, every time they fly to a different country, they come back with more tariffs. That's what happened to Anita and Ann when she went to India. We came back home with a 30% tariff rate. Number 3, Mark Carney lies about everything. We could honestly spend hours on number 3. We're not going to do that today. What we're going to do is he has lied so much that the public was outraged. So I'm going to show you some of the top memes of Carney lies because it actually became a viral thing this year. Let's go. We're going to start off with some breaking news. Mark Carney is actually the very first human to land on Mars. Mark Carney could do it all. He even announced that he is now pregnant with his own baby. Mark Carney defeated the North Korean Air Force all by himself in 1952. He accredited his victory by downing 685 enemy MiGs, including a record of 136 in one single day. Mark Carney also won 100 Olympic gold medals in one day. Believe it or not, but Mark Carney actually created the 11 secret herbs and spices of Herlin Sanders in 1928. Without Mark Carney, we would never have tasted the KFC. Finger licking good. Mark Carney actually spent 2,300 years single-handedly built the Great Wall of China with his own hands. Unbelievable, right, Canada? Mark Carney said that he actually passed away for your sins. Unbelievable. You are sin-free now. Mark Carney actually claimed that he created the 10 Commandments. And get this, after receiving an Oscar for his performance in 1971, The French Connection, Gene Hackman thanked Mark Carney for teaching me everything there is to know about being a great actor. Here is an actual photo of Mark Carney when he was a student in Beijing Polytechnic. And you're really not going to believe this one. Mark Carney was the reason that the Big Bang happened. And here is Mark Carney seconds before he discovered the electricity. And you are not going to believe this. Mark Carney was actually the photographer that took pictures of Armstrong when they landed on the moon in Star Wars, and he was the only one that actually hit his target. Last one. We're having a lot of fun today. Mark Carney claims it wasn't Tom Brady that won 7 Super Bowls with the Patriots. It was actually him. He was the one that's passed all of those scoring touchdowns. Mark Carney is famous and has 7 Super Bowl victories. And number 2, freedom is earned every day.
But freedom is something you earn every day. And that strength is something we need to reinforce.
If my grandfather was still alive today, he served in World War II. He would tell Mark Carney off and say, no, I'm sorry, Mark Carney. He fought and served in World War II so that we could have our freedom. We earned our freedom through the sacrifices of our veterans. And at number 1, who cares? Who cares about Canadians?
It's not an endorsement of everything that happens in the country, nor vice versa from those countries to us.
Next question.
Who cares? I mean, it's a detail. It's a detail. I spoke to him. I'll speak to him again when it matters. Who cares? Who cares?
The who cares statement will forever haunt Mark Carney for the rest of his time in Canada because we care. We care about Donald Trump and the tariffs that he's imposing against our country. We care that he said he was the Trump whisperer and the only man that could get us a win with Donald Trump, and he has done the opposite. We care. He says, who cares about Donald Trump? We could give ourselves more than anyone could take away, which is false. We trade 76% of all the trade we do is down with the United States, which represents 20% of our economy. Without the United States, our entire country would collapse overnight. So we care, Mark Carney, and he really actually doesn't care because all of his assets are located in the United States, meaning if Donald Trump wins, he wins. That's right. We elected a guy that is the most conflicted prime minister in Canadian history. And what I believe is in 2026, we're going to have a mass awakening event, and we're going to get a chance to ask Mark Carney, does he really care about Canada? And that's when Canadians decide to take back our country. I can't wait for 2026. And I am going to deliver all of you my daily reports. I cannot wait. I'm wishing you and your family a wonderful New Year's Eve and a New Year's Day. And I just want to say a special thank you to everybody out there that has subscribed to my channel. I started from 0. I started publishing on my account April 1st. So it's been what? 8 months, and I'm nearly at 50,000. I would not be making any of these videos without all of you. Thank you so much for your support. And if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, Oh, 2026 is going to be massive. Here's a question for you. I've been in contact with the pleb, and the pleb wants to collaborate with me and create a brand new channel where it's pleb and I live once a week doing a recap of the most viral events and provide the chance for people to chat with us live. Let me know in the comments section if you are interested in this new channel. I'm going to continue to make my daily reports over here, but that would be a separate project. I'll see you on the next report.